Disneyland is a park that you are simply never done enjoying. It's not a one-day park or even a two-day park. It's a lifetime park. And everyone has their own list of things you simply must do in this lifetime before you can say that you have really truly experienced Disneyland. And Fresh Baked has our own list, our bucket list if you will. And in this episode of Fresh Baked, we'll present to you our top 10 must-do bucket list items for Disneyland. Let's start at the beginning, rope drop. I kid you not, there is simply no better way, no happier way to start a Disneyland day than to start it with a rope drop. But don't just get there at 8 a.m., get there at 7:45 a.m. or before and observe the excitement and the expectation of thousands of people eagerly awaiting the park opening. That walk up Main Street in the crisp early morning, the buzz of excitement, the music and announcements over the speaker as the rope is about to drop, it's pure magic and pure Disney. Not to mention the added bonus of a good hour or two where the park is virtually yours to explore in peace. This is why Fresh Baked starts most of our weekly visits in just this way. Disneyland is amazing, but it's most wonderful on those quiet Saturday mornings after rope drop. Now, many of our bucket list items are centered on seeing the park in ways that are unique or often overlooked, ways that maybe we take for granted or don't even know are available to us. And next on our list is just such a way, and that is to go for a ride on the Disneyland Railroad, but in the historic Lily Bell car. This car is on just one of the many trains and is open to just a few guests each trip around the park, so just getting aboard can take a bit of effort, but it's so worth it. The car is named after Walt's wife, Lillian Disney, and its interior design is inspired by her style, to the point, in fact, that they use the same carpet she chose for Walt's apartment above the fire station. Now, once aboard, guests will get to travel in quiet style, getting to see the park in a whole new way, while also being able to soak in the interior design of the car. To reserve your spot on the Lily Bell, just ask a cast member at the Main Street Railroad stop early in the morning. Earlier the better, though, to make sure you can reserve a seat. Let's go for another ride, guys, this time on the Monorail. Now, the Monorail is one of my favorite alternative ways to see the park. It's a wonderful view from any seat. But take a shot at riding in either the nose or the tail the next time you visit. From the tail, you get a nearly panoramic view of the park as you go by, seeing both sides of the monorail, where you normally can see just the one side you're sitting on. It's also kind of a private and special feeling. Best part is, all you have to do is ask. Ask a cast member if the tail is loading. Sometimes you might have to wait an extra monorail, but it's so worth it. And even more unique is riding in the nose, with the pilot. You can ride shotgun as he steers the monorail throughout the track with that crazy classic video game joystick. You're also up close and personal when they make their announcements. It's a unique and classic experience that everyone needs to do at least once. Now, the next couple of items are all about timing, and that's why they're bucket list items, because it may take a few tries to get just right. But for something really magical, head to Fantasyland at night and go to the Teacups, but try to wait for a parade to be going by first. If you time it right, you'll get a great view of the parade, of course, but more importantly, you'll have a one-of-a-kind interaction with the characters in the parade. You see, parade characters love to take special notice of guests riding in the teacups, and since there are only a few of you actually on the ride at a time, you can know that those waves and those smiles are just for you. Here's another amazing experience that can happen only once a day, and for much the same reasons as the teacups. It's all about timing and luck, but this one is a bit more difficult. Everyone loves a good Disneyland fireworks show, but seeing them fired from seemingly right above you is even better. And this is possible if you can catch the fireworks show from Big Thunder. But as I mentioned, it can get a bit complicated. You first have to time how long the queue will be relative to when the fireworks go off. The trick is not trying to catch the beginning of the show, because you could leave too early. That's just as bad. You want to try to catch the show in the middle, and this way, if you're too early or a little too late, you're still probably going to catch either the first 5 or the last 5 minutes. Time it for the middle, and you are in for one of the most pure Disneyland experiences you'll ever have. Everyone knows about character breakfast. Everyone needs to know just how awesome they are. For those that don't know, it's a breakfast, usually buffet style, where your favorite Disney characters, including many rare ones that you won't find in the park at all, stop at your table and hang out with you. Wonderfully. It's one-on-one, it's totally cute, and it's a classic Disneyland experience. And they're all over the place, and they're all different. There's Goofy Kitchen at Downtown Disney, there's the Chip and Dale Critter Breakfast at Storyteller's Cafe at the Grand Californian, Surf's Up with Mickey and Friends at Paradise Pier Hotel, Ariel's Princess Celebration at Ariel's Grotto, and the one we recommend the most, Minnie and Friends at the Plaza Inn, right there in Disneyland. All you can eat breakfast as a gift. Doing it at Disneyland is the next best thing. But even better is a stack of bacon with Mickey Mouse while you watch guests begin their day walking by the Plaza Inn. So if you're a fan of fresh baked, then you know Peter 2, affectionately known with us as the Clapper Guy. Peter 2 goes to Disneyland almost every day for a few hours a day, greets every cast member with a warm smile and a round of clapping that is pure joy. Now, if you go to the park regularly, then you have probably at least heard him. You might also have seen that when Peter heads for an attraction, he'll greet the cast members working there with a very special handshake. And for those guests who are filled with the Disneyland spirit and return his clap with a smile, you can get that handshake too. And doing so will be a moment that you remember forever. So if you hear Peter 2 clapping, clap along with him and take a minute and shake that man's hand. This is another bucket list item that's kind of tough to accomplish because it can only happen twice a year, and that is to go to Disneyland during a Dapper Day. Now, Dapper Days are a special day at Disneyland where guests choose to dress in their Sunday best as an homage to an era where going to Disneyland was considered a more classy day out. It's a wonderful feeling being around so many people who are feeling so good about how they look. It's a sense of pride for those dressing up. Looking good feels good, and there's a lot of feeling good at Dapper Days. And it's kind of sport to admire all the amazing outfits or to guess what character, movie, or even attraction that guest is bounding as. Not to mention that there's an added side effect of all the good moods, and that is that your Disneyland day is much more enjoyable. Guests are generally just less cranky on a Dapper Day. So take our advice, Fresh Bake, just once, make it to a Dapper Day. Now, this one may be a bit basic, if you will, but that doesn't mean it's any less amazing. At least once, you should have a meal at the Blue Bayou. Now, there's something about being able to dine in an attraction. I mean, where else can this be done? It's dark, it's moody, the food is great, the vibe is fantastic, and there's an endless parade of happy guests floating by just feet from you on their way to enjoying one of the most legendary attractions in Disneyland history. And you get to eat lunch or dinner while it's happening. And we definitely recommend getting a water table. It's maybe another 20 minutes of waiting, but it's definitely worth it. Oh, and a quick tip, if you're on a budget, go at lunch. It's a little cheaper at lunch, and then order the Monte Cristo. It can easily feed 2 people, at least that's been our experience. And it's a classic Blue Bayou meal and makes the adventure that much more affordable. There are probably a lot of Disneyland bucket lists out there, but I'll wager not one of them has this final suggestion on their list. But one thing Fresh Bake suggests everyone do at least once is to spend a day at Disneyland with no rides. Now, as we mentioned at the opening, there are day parks, there are 2-day parks, and then there are lifetime parks, and Disneyland is a lifetime park. And this is because it's not just about the rides. But sometimes we get hung up on running from attraction to attraction, trying to maximize our day, getting in the most rides possible. But at least once, you should make it a point to not ride a single attraction during a Disneyland visit. And what you'll find is that Disneyland you might not have known was there before. It's peaceful, it's beautiful, even, dare I say, relaxing. You'll see views you've never seen before, sounds you've never heard before, and feelings you thought you could have only felt when you were a kid. In fact, this is the best way to get that kid-like feeling again. Just to take in the magic and the wonder of Disneyland without any of the distractions like fast passes or queue sizes or how long anything is taking. Just be in Disneyland. Do that and you will have, a Disneyland experience that you did not think was possible. And that's it, Fresh Bake. That's our top 10 bucket list items. We hope you get to do as many of these items as possible, and we'll love to hear any of your suggestions as well. Just let us know in the comments below. And in the meantime, subscribe, like, share, and Fresh Bake!